And as I've said behind the scenes and probably here on the show, this sweet face gets me every time. They should be here. No reason for this to be going on. They should be here. Medical examiner reveals the cause of Nex Benedict's death. Oklahoma State Medical Examiner's Office has ruled the death of 16-year-old Owasso High School sophomore Nex Benedict as a suicide. Benedict died February 8th, the day after the violent altercation with 3 other students in a school bathroom, in which he was reportedly beaten until he blacked out. Benedict, who friends and family say identified as non-binary and primarily went by he, him pronouns, reportedly told his mother, Sue Benedict, he'd been bullied by the 3 other students because of his gender identity. Benedict's death has led to speculation that his death was a direct result of injuries sustained from the incident. But on Wednesday, the medical examiner's report on Benedict's cause of death was made public and listed his death as, quote, combined toxicity from diphenhydramine and fluoxetine. Per the Hill, the full medical examiner's report will be released March 27. The Owasso Police Department said in a Facebook statement, quote, from the beginning of this investigation, Owasso Police observed many indications that this death was the result of suicide. However, investigators did not wish to confirm that information without the final results being presented by the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
You criticized us. We did nothing wrong. You did do something wrong. The whole community did collectively something wrong. Okay, so don't scold us about, there's an underlying theme here, like you jump to conclusions. We knew it back then. We told you so. That's what I read into it. I'm curious, Yaz, and I want your full response. So let me get through the rest of this. Owasso police previously released preliminary information from an autopsy indicating that Benedict did not die as a result of trauma. OPD spokesperson Lieutenant Nick Boatman, however, subsequently told investigative news site Popular Information that the medical examiner never specifically said that Nex did not die from something as a result of that fight. I just love the way this thing has been handled. Not John Russell, LGBTQ Nation. Now, in a letter to families and teachers, Owasso Public School Superintendent Dr. Margaret Coates said Wednesday Benedict's death was, quote, devastating, and, quote, we understand that the information released today may bring up additional thoughts, feelings, and emotions for students and staff members. Kelly Robinson, president of the Human Rights Campaign, HRC, said in a statement, Nex was failed by so many and should still be here today. We have heard from so many parents and students that this culture of bullying and harassment is both pervasive at Owasso public schools and that many within the school had actual knowledge that it was occurring and took no steps to fix it. Thank you. Following widespread outcry from the LGBTQ plus community and advocacy organizations, the United States Department of Education indicated it would launch an investigation into the Owasso public schools to determine whether the district failed to appropriately respond to alleged harassment of students in accordance with Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972, a federal law which forbids sex-based discrimination, and Title II of the Americans with Disability Act, 1990, another federal law forbids discrimination based on gender dysphoria, includes trans and non-binary identity. And let me just say, these are laws for now. These are laws for now. We'll see how much longer they're on the books. We'll see how much longer the Department of Education will be able to even investigate this kind of thing. And by the way, it would have been great if the investigation came before Nex's death. HRC has also called for an investigation of Oklahoma's anti-LGBTQ plus GOP Superintendent of Public Instruction, Ryan Walters. and the Oklahoma State Department of Education. Prior to Benedict's death, Walters already faced widespread criticism from state lawmakers for appointing New York-based hate influencer Shia Rychik. Only the best people. Nationwide search, only the best people. Who operates the anti-LGBTQ plus social media account, Libs of TikTok, to the Library Advisory Committee for the state in January. There is so much here that is disgusting, yes. There's so much here. As I said right before we went on the air, I can't look at his sweet face, but we must. We must.
Yeah.
And even after he's gone, why are you still failing him? Why?
Yeah. I mean, apart from the obvious, what's so sad about this ruling is that the right will inevitably treat this as a victory as much as a child dying can ever be a victory. They'll act as if, the students who beat this person are blameless. And more so, they'll act as if this one incident confirms their belief that the transgender community there is full of mentally unwell individuals, which isn't true. And it's so strange that this is a right-left issue at all. It's a child who is dead because his entire identity was politicized, as if being a teenager wasn't difficult enough for just like everybody, right? Everybody has their own individual struggles. But the people on the right who proclaim to care about little else but the children, everything they do is in the name of the children. They so obviously do not care about all the children. And they will deny all day long that the anti-trans rhetoric coming out of their own mouths on the right had nothing to do with this death. They'll say that words don't kill. They'll say that you can't prove it. But everybody knows why this happened. Everybody knows why there's so much hate towards these individuals. Everybody knows why there's so much misunderstanding. And it very clearly comes from a place of not wanting to understand, right? People fear that which they don't understand. They fear that which is different. And a lot of what comes out of the right is just exacerbating and encouraging that fear. Everything that they say is, oh, you got to be scared of this now. You got to be scared of immigrants. You have to be scared of the trans agenda, whatever that is, as if, all the transgender people in the country are having secret meetings discussing an agenda. It's really ridiculous. And unfortunately, it culminates in incidents like this one.
Yeah. I have this thing in my personality where I hate not knowing things. Mm-hmm. Before I file taxes with an expert, I read Taxes for Dummies. If it's a medical procedure that's something so simple, I just research. It's helped me as a journalist. Mm-hmm. But it's this thing where I have a thirst. I just want to know more. Okay, the law. Now I'm looking up laws. I'm not a lawyer. For a whole entire group of people to identify as anti-woke, they don't want to open up and even does not even have to change your opinion. You're afraid that if you learn something, it might actually change your opinion. Can you just take the information? I'll give you the last word before we go to break.
Yeah, so that always perplexes me too, because I'm a lot like you. I read a lot about everything because I want to know more, because by learning more, that's how you understand things. When I moved to Texas, the weather was so scary. I was so scared of the weather down here. Very different from Connecticut. So I had to learn about the weather and it became less mystifying. And the thing that you were mentioning real quick about, are you so scared that your opinion will change? The answer is yes, because their entire lifestyles, their entire family relationships, school relationships, work relationships are all bound by these beliefs. So if something comes in and kind of shakes up those beliefs a little bit, it shakes up too much of their lives. They would have to leave their church. They would have to become alienated from their family, their friends. It's a lot to deal with. So I get it in that sense, but that's still not a reason to just be willfully ignorant.
Yeah, willfully ignorant.